All right. What is up, folks? Friday night, 7:30. Y'all know what that means. It is time for the Panhandle Fishing Report. I'm your host, Mike Smith, Smitty Surf Fishing, and with me always is my co-host.
What is up, everybody? It is Demo from Finding Demo Surf Fishing Podcast. Welcome to Friday, the weekend, and it's going to be 50-50. We'll see what this weather does.
Tomorrow's looking pretty good. Sunday's looking pretty good with like 24-ish% chance of rain, which means it'll probably rain all day.
Yep, because we all know if it's under 50, we're going to get rained on. So,
I am tired of the rain.
Tony, good evening to you, sir. Hello.
Mr. Fagioni, what's happening, buddy? I know there's some areas that really need the rain. I wish it would go rain there and they could get all the rain they want because I am tired of it here.
I mean, it's less than desirable. I mean, that's kind of the words I'm thinking of it. It's not exactly the most ideal situation, but, on the same note, what can we do? I'll take a little bit of it. Vernon, good evening.
Yeah.
Jason,
Vernon.
how you doing?
Jason, what's up, buddy? JC, what's going on, buddy?
JC, I will call you this weekend, JC. We have to finish our conversation from the other day.
Okay, it's almost like an every week thing. JC, I got to talk to you. JC, yep. I got to call you.
I talked to him not too long ago. It was kind of fun. I talked to him last week. I talked to him quickly last week. I talked to him. I talked to Papa Guggen.
Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that stuff. He's doing his move. I went on a blitz for podcast stuff because I realized, hey, I might want to get back into my job.
Yeah. I saw that you got a lot of stuff coming out on the podcast side.
Yeah, that all blew up real quick. Steven, good evening to you. Mark Burford, East Coast.
Burford, what's going on? Florida Surf Tackle in the house.
Bruce, nice to see you. And when he does pop on, because I know he'll say hi once he gets here, will be William, which he is correct. I do have a rod in my garage for him.
Which one was it?
It is the
Blue Battle.
The Blue Battle. It is. Yeah,
nice.
It was. I totally forgot. He did the giveaway. He won the giveaway. I do have it sitting there and ready to go. Bill, good to hear you're feeling better, man.
Absolutely.
Stay away from those garden gnomes that are giving out the plague.
Yeah, they're everywhere right now. Glad to be over it right now, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, true story, man. True story.
So, rough week. Did you get out and do any fishing at all this week?
I did not. The mornings I was going to go out and get after it, unfortunately, either work took it or the rain scared me off. Rain doesn't scare me, but when I start seeing those red markers and that lightning, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, lightning was
Blaine. Wonder maybe late.
What up, Perdido Blaine? What's going on, buddy?
There was that video. What was it? Probably almost like 6-7 months. No, I think it was last year. It was a couple of guys. They were doing a boat charter. They coming back on their boat. They ran through a lightning storm. They had one rod in the back of the boat and a bolt hit them. All you saw was those splinters.
Yeah, the carbon fiber just blew up, or it was carbon fiberglass, whatever, just blew up.
That terrifies me with like being the idea of being out in the surf with a 12, 13-foot rod. That just does not sound like a good time.
We started a trip on Wednesday morning. Was it Wednesday morning? Yeah, Wednesday morning. And it looked like we had a good weather window up until about 11. So charter ended at 10:30. It was going to be perfect. Started off good. A lot of fish, a lot of whiting in close. And you could see the storms were miles offshore, right?
Yeah.
But then I saw it coming from Pensacola way. And I could see Portofino from where we were fishing. And then I could barely see Portofino. Then I couldn't see Portofino, and then it was coming in, and I told the guy, we were like 2 hours in, and I said, we're going to get wet pretty quick. And looking at the radar, it's going to be here a while, so we ended up having to cut it short.
Yeah.
And stayed and kind of we made it to the truck, got everything packed up. It started raining. By the time we got home, it was just a downpour, so cut it off pretty quick. We did get a trip in. What did you get? Destin Princess?
I heard about this in the yard right now. Got hit. Jason told me about that getting hit, Steven. That was crazy. That was in the yard.
I wonder why Steven posted the picture of it up in the yard.
Yep. It hit. Steven, correct me if I'm wrong. Jason told me it hit one of the radio antennas, ran down through the pilot house, down 2 more lines, blew the generator and one of the engines, I think it was, right? I think that's what I heard.
Dang.
boat.
For y'all that are watching out of the area, the Destin Princess is one of the larger head boats. Goes out of Destin.
Great boat.
Yeah, big boat. And it got struck by lightning last week. So is the captain okay? The captain got knocked out. Is everybody all right? And everybody's doing okay?
Burford just put in there too. I heard about this. Broken Reel 23, also known as Spencer Brogdon, posted on there. Yep. Jacksonville, the new pier got hit, so it's not going to be new for long.
Did you see that chunk of concrete that blew out of the side of that thing, out of the pier?
No, I didn't see
that. That was crazy.
Was it?
Blew that out, and then actually hit. There were 2 dead seagulls that were laying on the beach too. So
Ryan, what's going on? Deerfield, good evening to you.
What's going on, guys? Everyone's okay, so that's good.
Yep.
Good to hear there.
I had a small conversation with Deerfield on the phone this week. He's got he's got some plans. He's got some ideas. He's got some stuff.
I heard they've upped the ante on the Goodbye Pompano on the cart giveaway there.
Yep, and they also are sponsoring the SSI running of the Bulls out of Georgia.
Yeah,
they're running on that one. Yeah, they've got some stuff coming, and I'm
nice.
Him and I talked for a few minutes. And I kept trying to stop writing notes down for me on my build. I'm just like, oh my god, if I do this cart's gonna be more than my car. You know, it's just
right.
It's so many fun things, and the worst part is, it's because of you.
Because of me.
Only partially. I love you.
Partially. Yeah, it's getting an upgrade. We're putting a gear reduction motor on it, turn a little better, self-tensioner, hinge plate for the motor. So I gotta get together with Mr. Tom Cabrera. He and I got to put our noggins together and figure out. And then the handle that I want to get from Deerfield with the box on it. All my batteries and everything will fit right inside there, so I can get rid of that little ammo can with the batteries in it. So it's going to be a nice tight setup.
Nice, man. That'll be really good, especially the way you're going to have to run the wires down from the top. That's really smart. I think that's
absolutely.
So what do we got here? My show notes fell down.
Oh yeah, show notes. Yes, we use them. Questions of the week, maybe.
Yeah, again, everybody, you all know what we always ask you, and we can see we got good numbers tonight. Everybody's here. Oh, he just popped on, so we're going to speed it up. Mm-hmm. We got some good stuff coming here. If you guys everybody's ever interested in sponsoring the show or getting in on advertising, please reach out to Mike or myself. We will happily discuss the packages with you to get that going. With the question of the week, and this is also going to be somewhat of the theme of the show this evening. What is your go-to fish recipe? Pop that in the comments. Let's see those fish recipes right there. It's going to be, I want to hear what you got. What about you, Mike? What's your favorite?
Absolutely. So there's a few. But I will say this. I asked this a while back. I think we talked about frying fish, air, grease, and all that. I have tried several times since. I am now 100% grease frying everything. I don't care. I'm tired of messing around with it. I'm tired of not getting my crunchy fish fillets that I want. I tried spritzing with olive oil in the air fryer. I tried, all sorts of stuff. Now it's just, I told Shandy the other night, I said, okay, from now on, we are 100% grease frying everything. I don't care. Oh, that's a good one. The other recipe that we've used recently on like bluefish fillets and Spanish mackerel is a mixture of, and some people are going to be like, ew, but it tastes really good. Mayonnaise, lemon juice, garlic, and a little bit of like parsley mixed in there. Mix that up and then slather it on the fish. Broil it for like 8 minutes maybe until that mayonnaise and stuff starts bubbling and get nice and kind of crispy, and then bring that out. You lost me at mayo. See, I told you, but it is delicious. You got to try it.
Don't worry, Blake. We see you in there. We're going to get over there soon. Looking good, homie. Looking good. Ah, yes, sexy man. All right. So mayo is a great binder. And I was watching a couple of those barbecue shows recently where guys were using mayonnaise as the binder. And, I think it would work out just fine. So Zatarain's fish fry, wonderful. I've heard about the Zatarain's fish fry. I've
Yeah.
heard that stuff is naughty. So that's a good one right there.
It's not hot enough for me. I tend to put more Cajun seasoning in it once I get the bag going. I dump more Cajun seasoning in there with the Zatarain's, get that going. House of Autry stuff is delicious. Their Hush Puppy mix is phenomenal.
Hush Puppies need to go with fish. That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a little bit low rent.
Low rent.
I know it's horrible, dude. Like I want to get creative with my recipes. I like to get in there and do those cleanup like that. Definitely on occasion. My latest norm now is I'm going to either go with just a good sprinkle of either Flavor God is the seasoning, one of the companies I found not too long ago that I really like. I like sprinkling on their Cajun with their garlic lovers and butter. Just throw it, and I throw it right on the Blackstone. Do the bottom flip flop, in, out, and done. Nice and good there, and then pair it with something good. It's just I want to get crazy with it, but I haven't been able to.
I think if I had a Blackstone or a griddle like that, I would Weber's Montreal steak seasoning, because I put that on like everything.
Yeah.
Coat the fish down with that because it's got the salt, pepper, garlic, everything in there. Boom, flash it on the griddle, and then be done with it.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot. There's 100 different ways. We got a lot of great things in here.
So somebody just posted. Did you post this one? Pancake mix is a game changer.
It is. Pancake batter. That stuff, I've seen that not so long ago.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
I think it was on TikTok, actually. Damn TikTok. That damn thing gets me in trouble. But TikTok they were doing a lot with pancake batter, and it made that everything crisped up real good.
Huh. So, I've been watching a lot of, I think it's, I want to butcher his name. It's either Chris Chu or Chris Chow. He's a Korean chef. A lot of his videos, right? And what he does is he'll coat it in a flour, right? And then fry it, and then bring it out, and then like beat the fried pieces, right? And then put it back in the fryer and do like a double fry on it, and it gets really crispy. You're inducing air initially into that, and then you're refrying it. It's like, looks so delicious. I haven't tried it yet, but
double frying is definitely there. Ain't nothing wrong with double frying. I think that's the moneymaker right there.
That's what I tell folks on the beach when they ask me, "Hey, is this edible?" I'm like, "Anything's edible. We can fry anything." The only thing I tell them we're not going to eat is the ladyfish because it's mushy, unless you want to make patties out of it. But hardtail's not bad. Fried up, bleed it out, chop it up into nuggets, fry it. It's good. Catfish,
dude,
they're not bad.
Catfish. I'm
you just got to catch a big one.
Yeah. Doing the whole EKG process too, because it forces you to bleed them out while their heart's still pumping. You're gonna get the blood out. Dude, that made a huge difference with a ton of things with blues. So, all right. Yeah. And after that, so we'll keep asking the captains, and by all means, if you guys see recipes, there's going to be more in the scroll. We're going to talk about more about food and cooking. There's a lot more that's going to come from that. So keep those things coming that you like with those. If you want to post your recipes up and tag the creators. Or if it's you, put it in the comments wherever you're watching from. Tag them up, get it going there. We'd love to come back and take a look at your things.
Absolutely. So weather tonight, like I said, it's not going to be bad. Tonight we got 33% chance. Winds out of the north. I bet it is calm out there right now. Winds are going to be low all week. The chance of afternoon thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms. This weekend's looking good. Look at that, 87, partly cloudy, 24% chance. Winds out of the southeast at 7. It's good for when we're on the surf, get some wave action going, stir up that bottom, all those coquina clams, those sand fleas. Holy crap. And we got Blake Hunter coming up next. We're going to start with the surf report with that. But, man, sand fleas over here have been monstrous.
Yeah, they're not the tiniest either. We got a bunch of them, but, man, they are the big ones.
If you can find the perfect – like nickel size ones, the whiting are tearing them up right now. But most of the ones I'm finding out there are like 50-cent pieces. You end up cutting them in half, and anyway,
still works.
I'm jumping ahead. Weather's looking good. Like I said, afternoon thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms all week, but chances are low. Winds are nice and light. Get out there and do some fishing.
Oh yeah.
What you got on the windy?
On windy, windy is not actually. I didn't even pull it up because I figured we were going to push through because I know Blake's going to run, but I don't mind. I'll get it up. All right, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Voila.
Nice.
So with the big picture here, I've been zooming in our area, but there's something I wanted to kind of change up tonight. So with the winds, this is something I've started paying attention a little bit more to, is I want to see where it's out and I want to see which way it's running. So you can see we got the nice little bowl effect going here. We got the nice water temperatures. Always important to take a look at that, considering we got some storm activity down to the south. That is, come on, play, you jackwagon. We got some stuff coming. So as you can see, we got the incomer twisting in. Yeah. Nice little bowl of action here. And then offshore, that's all Saturday. A little bit of a twist backs into the evening, turns back in. And you got the bowl effect going here. So always good with windy to take a look a little bit further out to see what the wind pattern is, but also to see what this water temperature is doing, because that's going to determine what that storm's going to do, where it's going to go. I'm predicting Tejas personally. So with that one on there, I think it's going to be really good for there. You got some good stuff. Kayakers, I think you're going to have a little bit of a challenge this weekend with the rain and the wind. So be a little bit careful with your planning. Just watch out on that with the wave action. I think is my bigger worry. It should be a little darker. Water temperatures are looking pretty good for you out there. I've had some decent reports off the pier. Not a ton of things, but I think it's still going to be a great weekend to get out as long as the surf stays low.
Absolutely. So that's going to be in our scroll. I'm going to bring that up because scalloping has been on fire over in Port St. Joe area. There's been tons of guys that are out there who are bringing in limits.
I've heard flounder gigging is quite hot right now.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Blake, because I know Blake knows about that side of the world. None of that, dude. None of that. All right, you want to put it on?
All right. So without further ado, we're going to bring on our surf fishing reporter. We haven't had him on in a while, but back with us, Mr. Blake Hunter of Real 30A. If you guys haven't been following him, they have been crushing pompano out there all summer long. It is amazing. Guys. What's up, brother?
Pretty good. Let me just say thank y'all again, and I'll never confirm or deny anything about flounder. I take the sentiment of the old timers. I might do it, I might not do it, but I ain't gonna talk about it.
That's fair, man. I totally respect and understand that.
But more power to Bayou Bandit. He tells me where to go when I go back in Alabama. So thank you for that.
Yeah, nice.
Just kidding. No, but how you guys been?
Not bad.
We've been good now that we've gotten over this COVID thing and been able to get back out and surf and do some fishing and run offshore. It's been great.
Yeah. Well,
so
good,
what's the surf report been like?
Well, man, up until I have to say I haven't fished probably since the last 4 or 5 days, just because season has slowed down. But I will say the August report, first middle into August, I mean, we've been hammer timing them. I mean, it's been pretty awesome. I think we've probably caught. Oh, man, how many fish have we caught? I'd say at least 60, 70 fish.
So I will say a ton of fish because your reports coming out of there had just been amazing on the 30A area, on fire like all summer long.
Yeah, we have. And, I move around a little bit. I'll kind of go to PCB and I flirt into Destin. Maybe sometimes Okaloosa Island, but I kind of stay in that general area depending on the customers. That day right there, I mean, we went 10 for I think 18.
I mean, everybody's got pompano for everybody.
Yeah, that was a double trip. Me and my guy Brett Pearson, who's a great guy. He works for me now.
Yeah.
And it's can't complain, man. We doubled it up right there. We got next to each other, and we just put a crushing on them. I mean, we just smacked their butt, and it feels good when you do that, and everybody's got fish, and they had plenty of fish to eat. So, I'll take any pompano in August. I'll just be honest.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, hands down.
So, are you finding that you're catching more pompano on your Frisky Fins single drop rig that you guys collabed on than you are double drops right now?
I'm catching about, probably 60-40, you know. It's all, I run single drops depending on the conditions. I'll run a single drop when it's a calmer condition. So like you're talking about, we have some really light and variable winds coming up. I don't like running a lot of terminal tackle or a lot of stuff. I'll go naked. I'll even take the floats off mine, or I'll go really small float, and I'll just run a single drop because I'm just trying to target one fish. Now, you know, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to get a double, or, you know, it gets hit, or a ladyfish hits your bait, and, you know, you leave it out there, and maybe you got the second hook out there. You know, you don't have to reel it in and change your bait out. That's plus for double drops too. But yeah, I mean, I've run the single drop a little more when it's calmer conditions. That's why I made it, just to let everybody know. I mean, I didn't invent it. I just kind of brought it back to newer guys who never really used it, and it's a tool to use for you. You know, not pompano run springtime, other times of the year. Now, I love using the single drop when you've got a lot of current, you've got a big rip. Yeah, I love it rather than that, because I'm going to throw a big flea in there for a redfish or you know, hopefully a big, you know, or a piece of shrimp for a whiting, or, you know, fish bites too, you know, in the wintertime, you know, as you know, as we get cooler in the cooler months and the sand fleas start going dormant, and like you're saying, yes, there's a lot of sand fleas. My God, we don't have the hammers this year. It's more those small to mediums, which has been nice. I mean, they should start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, you know, that's where I use my single drop more, is throwing them into a cut. Now, I will say we haven't had too many cuts lately because the weather's been calm, right? You know, here hopefully we start getting cold fronts soon. The pompano start coming out of the bay, even though we've got plenty of fish on the beach. We can all speculate to why that is. I don't know. Yeah. I have a theory. I have a little bit of a theory, but I don't really know if it's true or not. It's just getting better, man, which is great for us because, you know, it just makes it more consistent to catch fish, you know, especially when you're dialed in on them.
Yep. Absolutely. I would love it if we had over here, like right now, we have all the big sand fleas. If we had those smaller sand fleas over here, it's just that would be money for us, because the whiting right now are tearing them up. Our pompano over here are doing the same thing. And I don't know about over there where you're fishing, but I've noticed since I've been back out in the last probably month or so, our second bar is in a lot closer than it has been in a while. You know, yeah, it's always shifting out there, but I don't know if that's if it's doing the same thing all the way down the coast, but we don't have as big of a trough. And where it's really hit me, and I've noticed it a lot, is shark fishing. Normally I could go and I could drop between the first and second bar, and I'd be in like 12 foot of water, which is perfect right in that area. Catch some nice sharks coming through there. But now you're lucky if you're in 8 foot. I mean, the bar's in a lot closer. The ditch is not as deep.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll say just the 30A area, it's still out pretty far, and it usually stays out far. It might pinch in, you know, on a 100-yard stretch every once in a while, you know, but it really hasn't here. But I mean, that's good for y'all. That should make the fishing better, you know. In theory, really, for the pompano, because they run on both sides of that bar, right? And you know, bottleneck everything in. So that's you know, man. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I can't complain. But yeah, the fleas, you know, I'm using mostly, you know, sand fleas with fish bites, and then, you know, on the rougher water days or right early, I'll use fish bites just to get the scent out there if it's before dark. And I'm really, you know, hammering down on that. I'm using mostly clam and shrimp. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what I'm catching the fish on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And yeah, clam and shrimp, that's definitely a go-to over here as well. And
I'll really use that in the fall too. I mean, that's what I'll just tell everybody. I don't care. You know, as the fleas start going dormant, I'll really hammer using more synthetics, because that's what's around, and I'll just use that. I really like the clam a lot. The clam really gets it done. The East Coast guys really like it, but I really like the clam.
Yeah, absolutely. You use a lot of the clams too, don't you, Brian?
Clam is one of my favorites. I do like clam, but I've fallen more in love with the crab. Last year's crab for some reason, that recipe was on fire. It didn't matter what you threw on it. Everything loved that one. So between the clam and the crab are my prime two, with Dan Fluvian right up there on number 3, probably.
Nice.
Good deal.
Awesome. Well, man, you've been crushing it out there. We appreciate you taking time.
Yeah.
You're obviously on the way home from a trip, probably. And
the kids. No, I just had to get out because the kids were asleep. I will say this to y'all real quick. I will have, as fall fishing gets up, I'm working on some new rods that I'm hopefully to come out with next year. I got 11.5. You guys be the first to break it for y'all. I'm coming out with 11.5 and a 12.5.
Nice.
So I'm really, really psyched about them. I put them in some different guys' hands. I'll say, it's what I'm looking for. I mean, so it's going to I mean, I'm trying to be unique. I'm trying to, there's much love. I love all the guys. I get along with everybody. So, I mean, I think there's enough room for everybody, and, more power to everybody wants to, invent something and come out with it. So
there you go.
I'm excited about it. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to see those. I know your 9.5 and 10 sixes are money. So,
dude, they see these. And I meant to say this too. The 9-footer's a great pier rod. So if any guy wants to pier fish, it's stiff enough. I've had a lot of commercial guys buy it and use it for jigging on the pier. So it's a great, or throwing, lures. Yeah. So, I mean, they're good. They're a small to medium range rod. They're not your 12-footers like you're over the bars and your daggers. But, it's a good little, they're short to mid range, which I will use. I don't push them as much on my personal stuff as I should, but I try not to be too cheesy when I push my own stuff. That's just me. I don't want to be like, maybe I should, since I'm personally selling stuff, but I'm gonna start. As you get into fall, we get calmer conditions. Another thing, I scale down from my 12s and I use more 9s and 10s when I'm fishing.
Yeah, we've been talking about that over here. There's a few of us. And Justin Reed just popped on. Justin Reed Fishing. 9s are underrated rod. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I think that's most of Justin's arsenal is 9-foot rods.
He loves the 9ers. That's right.
And he can sail those things out there. But as we move into coming into this late summer, going into fall, downsizing everything for more bites and more strikes out there on the beach is definitely a good thing to do.
You're right. Always tackle down.
Awesome. Well, brother, we appreciate the report. Thanks for coming on with us tonight. Glad we could get you on here. And if folks want to book with you or rent gear or any of that good stuff, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me. It's on Instagram, Facebook, my website. So Instagram is The Real 30A because Real 30A was taken. So The Real 30A, Facebook's Real 30A. My number is 850-687-6063. Website's www.reel30a.com. I will be honest, the best way to do it is either call me or text me. I don't always check like Facebook messages. I get hit a lot of different angles. Instagram's the thing I check most. I'm really not on Facebook as much because I just juggle a lot. So don't take it personal. Yeah. Somebody messages me on Facebook and it takes me a while to get back to you. Sometimes I'm slow. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. We're all busy in that aspect.
Blake, before you go, what's your favorite way to make fish?
Oh.
Okay, yeah. What, pompano or like any fish? Like a white fish like you're talking about?
Anything.
So, my wife really loves, and I like when my wife loves it, you know what I'm saying? That I like to call it, it's a panko pompano. So I'll do a third panko, third Parmesan shredded with Romano. You can get that at Publix. The Parmesan shredded on Asiago. It's that 3-blend mix. Shredded. You got to have shredded. And then I'll do pecan chips, right? And then what I do is, you have to egg it or get it. Sometimes it'll fall off the pompano, but you have to get that batter in or you can egg wash it or just a little bit of water, I guess, or kind of needs to be wet. And then I do coconut oil on the skillet. I like coconut oil. So a coconut oil, get the skillet hot, and the skillet needs to be able to go in the oven, so not, rubberized, so I can throw it in the oven. So so basically I get a crisp, right? And then I finish in the oven for like 4 minutes on 325, with some jasmine rice. That's
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I try to eat clean now. You know, just me. I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I love the hush puppies. I love all that stuff you're saying. I don't really get to do that as much. My kids actually love it, but my wife stays on me pretty hard. She eats clean. So I like that. Going to what you were saying about the Zatarans, too, I do like that lemon Zatarans pre-mix. I used to use that all the time.
Yeah.
And my personal, somebody mentioned Old Bay, I think Deerfield, or I think Rob mentioned it, but I like, whoever mentioned it, sorry, I like Paul Prudhomme's Redfish Magic. So I like his little black
Magic. Yeah, seasoning. Yeah.
From Paul Prudhomme's. I'll put that on pasta. I do like Old Bay. You know, I mean, I use Old Bay too. But how I season my fish is I usually use Mrs. Dash without salt, and I'll use that, season it first, and then I'll season it after. But and then also I on the panko, when I pull it out of the oven, I'll squeeze a lemon on it. So
dude, you're all like gourmet and shit, man.
Yeah, that's
it's like jasmine rice and a little bit of this and all this other stuff. But you got
vinegar in your
yeah.
Dude, and my kids won't eat it. My kids will be like, give me some husk. Yeah. My kids like, give me French fries.
I want chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I want mac and cheese. I'm like, I just made you the best damn meal. I caught the fish. I plucked the rice from the field, and you're not going to eat it?
Oh,
you know what pompano costs a pound, damn it?
Yeah. Wait till I start cooking all that flounder. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Oh, you said it out loud.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother.
All right, man. Get out of here. It's good seeing you, brother.
Thanks,
Appreciate
y'all.
it, man.
Keep keeping on. Doing great.
Appreciate it.
Blake.
Always good talking with Blake.
God, coconut oil. So many uses for coconut oil.
So many. Coconut butter.
Coconut butter.
Oil. Yep. Coconut butter. So many uses.
So many uses.
So we had a lot of people jump in here with comments while we were talking. So Bill says, what do you do if you've already downsized your stuff and now you're into January and February? What do you do?
I mean, you're already January and February to me is kind of like the summer. I mean, it's skinny fishing. So you really got to tighten up that. I mean, you got to go thinner line, lighter on that set. You got to be a little bit more tactical in the high summer, low winter. Yeah. So I think being small on that one, I don't see a problem with it. I will agree on this thought though. They are maybe a little bit further out. So you just got to kind of plan it.
Yeah,
definitely. I leave the skin on.
David Bates, from cooking pompano, do you leave the skin on? Yes.
Yep.
I do.
I just started taking the scales off of them after talking with Allison. We were on the phone. Huh? Pompano have scales.
I don't even mess with them.
They're
so tiny. Like, what do you do with them? You
just
shaving them like a tuna?
Kind of, yeah. You just shave it, and it just gets this the skin a little bit crispier.
Yeah. Tony, I'm a salt baked pompano guy. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen
that is a hell of a way.
Tony's video, fish gum on Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube. The salt baked pompano looks amazing.
It was just so much salt loss. But the funny part is knowing that it doesn't take the flavor on, it just encrusts it and steams it as it goes. It was like, that's really cool. Jeremiah,
I'm with you, Jeremiah. That's the reason I leave it on, is because when we're done, I scrape that fillet off the skin, and then all the dogs get pompano skin from the grill.
So I know this is weird, and the comments are probably going to blow up at this, but now I forgot his name. The kayak guy that travels the country in his RV. He goes down to South Panama and does for the rooster fishing. Justin, I know you know who I'm talking about. I think his name's Rob.
Okay.
Fields. Robert Fields.
Okay.
Got it. So he actually just showed what he's been doing after he cooks them. He's been eating fishtail.
Like the actual tail?
Like the actual tail, frying it up into a crispy chip and eating the fish tail.
So, and our next guest may be able to talk about this, because he did a social media post on the parts of the fish that go to waste, I guess, and how many people that actually, that's you, Mark. I see you in the green room. He's like, hey, that's me. I was like, yeah, it's you. On parts of the fish that actually go to waste that people don't even think about cleaning and eating. And I probably one of those things is, frying up the fins. clipping them off and making potato chips and the throats and not the gills. What are you doing, man? What's he doing back there? What is this? Like, that's gills, man. That's gills.
I mean, the throat. I love the throats, man. The throats is shocking. I regretted throwing throats away until I learned about it. But
yeah, so Deerfield, that's a while back. What am I sipping on tonight? Tonight is Shipwreck rum, coconut flavored, in honor of our guy Mark Holtz, who introduced us to that. But I'm not drinking it straight tonight. I'm actually mixing it with a little bit of pineapple juice over here. It's pretty tasty. I don't have a charter in the morning, so we're good.
All right, I unclicked your thing.
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
September, October, November, use the same size base but one color. Have pretty good luck. Don't really drop down because winter and fishing deep holes and bridges. That makes sense. Yeah, for the boat side, I totally can understand that, Bill. On the surf one, little different, not by much, but yes, in the winter. I mean, I'm going out in my kayak in the winter and I'm hitting pilings. I'm going the same way you are. I'm going that style, and I'm going out in, my host's boat.
Absolutely. Chris Florence says clients get the fillets, captains keep the throats. Absolutely.
Oh, dude.
That's just the way it works. I mean, you filleted the fish for them, you put it in the baggie, and they think you're throwing the rest of it overboard. You're cutting them throats out and bringing them home.
All right. It was Ryan, the casting assassin, that actually turned me a lot heavier into it was in trigger throat. After the triggers got cut and everybody left, he's like, oh, no. Get those trigger, cut those throats, bag them up.
Nice.
But yes, Tony, good point. Keep the heads. You can make a great fish soup. I used that last year. I did that to make that fish. I was making a fish stock. I think it was I made a Thai soup. I can't remember which one I made. I think I made tom kha, and I had to use fish stock, and it was delicious. That thing made it so much better. Nice. Shut up, Peter. I don't need you to talk. All right, so we are going to, without further ado, I got it.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got it.
We're going to go ahead and move into the offshore report. This week, the offshore report is being brought to you by Gomexis. Anytime you want to get your hands on those Gomexis knobs, use code SURF, SURF, for 10% off. That is only through Gomexis' website. You can still get your hands on it. Keep your eyes open because Gomexis is still producing other things for these rods and arms. There's more coming. We can't tell you about it yet, but we can tell you that something else is coming for another set of reels. So stay tuned. Once we can let that out of the bag, we absolutely will. Absolutely. So without further ado, bringing the big guns here, old Captain Mark Holtz of 38 Light Tackle in the Deston area. Good evening to you, sir.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What is going on, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while.
I know. It's been since before snapper season started. So
yeah, it has.
Earlier when we were talking about what we're doing on the show or whatever, and you said something about, I hope you have enough, or I hope you're ready to talk. I'm like, man, I've got about 3 months of stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
So coolest thing for me, as far as snapper season goes, I'm almost made it through all of snapper season without using a lead sinker. So I thought, for me as a light tackle guy, I like doing everything I can to try to have as much fun as I can. And with people who have maybe never fished before. So it was just really fun for us to see how light a gear we could come up with and how big of a fish we could. The bottom bite was weird for us in state water. So real quick, we figured out chumming them up to the surface. And you guys have seen my posts and talked about all that stuff before. But it's just been really cool. Now the water temperature has been very hot. So I think the fishing is, I mean, everybody talks about the dog days of summer, and that's definitely true to an extent, but there's just a way to fish it. And I mean, like every other month or every trip you go out, you just kind of have to figure out what's going on and evolve. Like if you go back to that couple pictures ago, there were those cobia.
Yeah.
Now we've probably, like last year we caught maybe, I don't know, 200 king mackerel and maybe 100 mahi. And then this year I've caught maybe 20 kings and maybe 500 mahi. They've just been everywhere. So that day here, this was on Tuesday of this week, we went out to where I told the guys, like, let's go throw some jigs for some mahi. And we got there and we probably caught 25 or 30 cobia about that size. So it was just the weirdest. I was not expecting that at all. But for us, it's just been a big Uh-oh. Is everybody frozen?
No, we're good, man.
Mike and I both got a text.
We just both got a text at the same time, and it was like, "Whoa, what was that?" Okay.
And we're both,
right?
We're both looking at it, and we're
all looking.
I'm doing dates in my head. I'm like, I don't even know what day it is.
Uh-oh.
We'll talk about it because you asked. So go ahead.
Yeah, but it's just been, for us, the big thing right now, especially, is going out and throwing jigs at mahi. That's the most fun for me. And luckily, where we're catching mahi or finding mahi are on places where we'll drift or throw flat lines off the back for kings. So when people get on the boat and they're like, hey, what do you want to do? We're like, we could go look for black snappers. We could go drop 2 hook rigs all day for triggers and mingos if that's what you want to do. But the fun thing for us, the whole light tackle jigging thing that we want to do, drift the bait, throw for mahi, and see just what we can catch. So that's been the fun bite for us lately.
I mean, absolutely. And you're onto that, the whole light tackle thing. That is, because I've been picking your brain on some things offline, and that's what my son Jack and I have been going out and doing. And I've gotten to the point now, I would much rather catch things on light tackle than horse something up on a big rod and reel. Light tackle is just so much more fun.
And what's funny about it too is I mean, we're still catching big fish. I mean, some of the fish that we have put in the rodeo the past couple of years are, regardless of the size, the gear that you're, I mean, that's that right there.
Look at that.
That's
that mingo.
I wear a 12 shoe, and that mingo was over 5 pounds. So it was, for us anyway, and I go back and forth. You guys know who Benny Ortiz is from Shimano, the kind of slow pitch jigging guru. I was having a long talk with him the other day about fishing over conventional gear versus spinning gear, because the gear is not made for what we're doing it for. And I think I was telling you this too, in regards to Jack getting into it. It doesn't really matter. And Tony, I see your comment that says, "Can you define light tackle?" We're catching, 80-pound amberjack, and I think we've got a 500-pound bull shark on a Saragossa 6,000 spinning rod, and a slow pitch jigging rod. So light tackle is, IGFA considers the smallest line or the smallest piece of tackle in your setup. So whether it's your leader, your main line, in other words, if you're on a 2 or 4 pound tuna class IGFA world record, you can use a 2 pound main line, but like a 400 pound leader. So it's all I consider light tackle honestly just much smaller gear than you should be using to catch those fish. But there's different ways to do it. And and Shimano and everybody have a tendency to say hey, here's how it's designed and here's how you should use it. And if I'm being honest with you, that's not how I do it at all. And my overall theme, and people who get on my boat, I try to show them my technique and what I like to do, but there's no wrong way to do it. So jigging is, and slow pitch stuff especially, it's every day it changes, and there's no wrong way to do it as long as it works. So
absolutely. That's what, my comment back to you, there's no wrong way. If you're catching fish, then it's working.
Yeah. A lot of that. Yeah. Conventional tackle, they say let the rod move the jig. And then once you hook the fish, fight the fish off the reel. I fight a little differently on mine. My rods don't really do much other than move the jig. So that's the same. But when I hook, if I fish almost full drag, and my fight on the fish is pretty linear. So once it's almost, I tell guys fight the fish like you're snagged on the bottom and you're trying to break off. So if you hook a grouper on a jig on the bottom, you pull that fish like you're trying to break off. And I tell guys, don't be afraid to break off. What's the worst that happens? We lose a fish or you lose a jig or something like that. But normally once you can get that fish turned and he starts coming up to the boat, and then you start leaning back a little and the rod starts coming up, I'm like, reel. So it's just a lot more fun, but it's definitely not how the books say you're supposed to do it. But it just I prefer fishing spinning gear. So it's just kind of how we've evolved and sort of figured something out.
Absolutely. So I'm going to jump in. Did you catch this lionfish on a jig?
So no, that one. So we've caught, Lonnie from GI Jigs and his son were down. we caught two. So I'll never forget this for the rest of my life, because Elrod, Lonnie's son, hooks a lionfish and he gets it up to the boat. And I was so shocked that he caught it on a rain minnow that I was like, it's an angelfish. And everybody was like, no, that's a lionfish. And then, so we move spots. We go to another spot. He dropped that purple, they call it churple. They dropped the churple rain minnow, and he's fighting this fish. And he goes, I got another lionfish. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I promise you don't. And he got it all the way to the boat. And he's the only person in the world who knows what that fight feels like. But that lionfish actually came off of a live pinfish.
Oh, wow.
A couple days ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of light tackle.
So give me a say, looking at this picture, that rod and reel looks like light tackle.
Yeah. So that's a Stratic 3000 on an inshore rod. So when we found that fish, and it's funny because the comment I posted with that said that about 25 minutes into that fight, he was like, I don't like light tackle anymore. But it's that fish is a perfect example of what I was just talking about, because once we hooked it, that fish was just kind of swimming at will. So I hate to do this, but I was like, hey man, tighten your drag a little bit, and I want you to put your hand on the spool. Now you need to let him run when he wants to run and point your rod at him, but I need you kind of pulling this way, and reeling towards him, and just to try to speed up that fight and have a healthy release of that fish. But halfway through, to teach a guy how to hand drag and pull the fish in more of a linear fashion is pretty interesting.
I bet.
So,
yeah, that's an awesome fight right there on light tackle.
Yeah, and that snapper and most of those black snappers that we caught this year were all off the surface. It's just a really fun snapper season for us, and those are all jigs. Everything there except that black snapper we caught on cut bait on the surface, but every one of those mahi were caught on jigs. And like I said, we've probably had, 300 of them or so. So it's just, yeah. Also off of the rain minnow, we throw the rain minnow a lot. I keep 2 rods on my boat rigged up all the time with rain minnows.
So, and you're saying you're catching these black snapper right there on the surface. It was amazing to me, not having done much nearshore fishing in a while, the schools of triggerfish and these snapper that would come like literally right up to the surface. Like they were sitting there, you could chum them up, you throw out there, and then they're right there sitting there on the surface. It was amazing to see.
We've had some of these fish pretty much jumping into the side of my boat. So before we start bottom fishing, I kind of throw things. I feel like it helps the bottom bite a little bit too when you get them all excited and feeding. But man, those black snappers can be really, really tough to get the bite.
I bet. Another nice fish coming in.
Tony, now is rain minnow a jig?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The rain minnow, that's the GI jig rain minnow. It's basically I like the 1 ounce diamond jig, and you can throw those at the mahi, at jack, creval, at redfish. There was a day when we went out with just those jigs and we caught 17 species of fish on that jig.
I thought I had one in here next to the computer, but I don't.
I've got plenty right here.
Yeah. And Lonnie at or LJ at Captain LJ at GI Jigs is a great sponsor of the show. If you guys are interested in purchasing those, visit his site, use code PFR, and you will get a 10% discount.
So we do have rain minnows. I don't know why I wasn't thinking that was a rain minnow.
Oh yeah. And it's funny. I mean, if you look at it, I have a picture I can send you guys too of a fish that we caught not too long ago, and I cut him open just to see what he was feeding on. And every fish that came out of his belly looked identical to that jig.
Oh, I bet. When you start paying attention to those things, and early morning on the surf is the same thing. Up in close, those rain minnows are in there. Those bluefish, the ladyfish, all those things are in there, just gorging on those things. And Spanish will come in close, just gorge on those rain minnows.
I always tell guys too to when cut that fish open, look at it and see what it's feeding on, and that really kind of adjusts the kind of jig or what I like to throw. And I mean, a lot of those black snappers, if you look at where they're hiding in the water column, they're not feeding on cigar minnows and big cut baits and everything like the snappers are. They're feeding on much smaller things. So just it helps everybody be a better fisherman when you actually cut up that thing open and see what they're actually feeding on at that time.
Yep. Or rain minnows, baby ladyfish. No, it's a whole different species. They're actually just minnows, but they're the clear, almost like glass minnows too. They're all like the same looking.
Flo jumped on
fish. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What? Baby ladyfish?
I'm so confused.
I'm so confused. Anyway,
so the offshore bite right now, I mean, based on everything you're showing here, I mean, you got the black snapper cruising to the top one. You got the mahi going nuts. Kayla killing a monster.
Yeah. For me, the big thing now, oh man, that fish was something else right there.
On fly? Look at that.
Yeah. Because, black snappers can be to get to a bite anyway. So to catch them on fly was pretty cool for us. And that was not a one-off. We duplicated that. So that one felt pretty good. But for us offshore right now, I'm telling everybody, like, yeah, we could go out. We can 2-hook fish for mingos and triggers. And you guys know the deal. You'll catch 200 14-inch fish to get one that's the right size. Unless you get out in a little deeper water for more consistent mingos. Tim and I were out on a guy's boat over the weekend, and we were just hammering. I mean, they were all 3 to 5 pound mingos. In a little deeper water. State water is a little slow. So for me, I like to go try to have fun and kind of convince everybody, let's go throw jigs. Let's catch food. Hopefully we find some mahi. If not, maybe we can find kings, but just jig and have fun because we're not fishing for sustenance. If we get food, great, but that's not what my fishing boat's all about.
Right. And jigging is a lot more engaging too for clients. I'm sure it's active. You're casting, you're doing, you're constantly moving and not just waiting on the bite.
Yeah. And I tell everybody too, like, you're going to earn it. Like when you get that bite, it's worth it. Like you're going to get to set the hook on it. You're going to fight it. Like you're going to know when there's a fish on. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Oh, somebody getting excited.
Uh-oh. That's our puppy.
So with all these fish that you're catching, what is your go-to fish recipe?
All right. So I've been thinking about this and I'm torn and I'll make it quick, but I'm torn on 4 different things. One, I love ceviche. So we've got a good ceviche recipe that probably takes too long to describe right now. 2, I like, and I just want to be clear here. And after listening to Blake, I just want to say that it seems like the farther east you get, the fishermen get a little bit better. I'm totally kidding, by the way.
Sorry,
but I'm kidding. Just because of the whole 38 report. So definitely ceviche. I like. We do a lot of baked stuff with Parmesan and breadcrumbs. The throats are awesome. We do a unagi. It's like an eel sauce. Okay. It's like sake, soy sauce, and I don't know. We'll make this eel sauce and just drizzle it over the throats on the charcoal grill. So nice. That's a big one for us. That's kind of been our go-to lately. And then Kayla has developed the world's best tuna recipe.
You don't have to say that because she's sitting right there.
And it's a thing. And we've got the Blackfin Tuna seminar coming up the first Tuesday in September. So like tuna's on my mind, and I'm writing a big article now for Florida Sport Fishing Magazine about Blackfin tuna up here. But speaking of recipes too, it used to be top secret, but Florida Sport Fishing Magazine is printing our king mackerel recipe in their next issue. There's a trick that we do with it, and I'll tell you guys now. It's going to be in there. Before we cook any kind of, almost every fish now, we'll soak it in milk for about 20 minutes before we cook it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our big trick on cubing that. I mean, obviously, in Demo, all about ikejime, but if we kill the fish, prepare it right, or process it in the right way, bleed it out, cut the bloodline out, cube it, soak it in milk, then dip it in an egg wash, and then in the breadcrumbs or whatever if you guys are going to fry it. But that whole recipe is going to be in the magazine. So that one will be pretty cool to check out.
Awesome.
There, man.
Yeah, I know you're a big ceviche guy. I saw you guys had the pre-mixed bag on one of your photos for coming back in on the boat.
It could have been on shore too.
Could have been. However, there is new ruling that came out that you can actually eat your fish while you're out there.
As long as you have means to cook it.
Correct. As long as you have some sort of flame source, heat source. So when I read that rule, I'm like, if I got a lighter, if I got something I can heat it with, like over a skewer, then I'm good. That's all I need.
Yeah.
It just is heat. So anyway, it's
you got an engine block.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on top of the motor, whatever. No, but it actually says kitchen, being able to a heat source to be able to cook the fish properly.
As hot as it's been lately, if you threw a fillet on my cowling, it would probably cook.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, I knew ceviche was a big one. And I've done pompano ceviche and I've done whiting ceviche. It's turned out really good. And when I try to explain that to customers who have never heard of ceviche before, I'm like, yeah, they're like, well, how do you cook it? I'm like, no, it's the lemon juice, the lime juice, all of that. That's what cooks it. And they're like, I don't know about any of that. I'm like, all right, you're missing out.
We'll do it a lot with kids to kind of get them into, and I don't want to say guilt, but I'll give the whole like, well, you caught this thing, you might as well at least try it.
Right.
And then in front of me on the boat at the dock.
Right, at the dock. Yeah, when you get back to the dock and you're cleaning
or
fish.
later that night at dinner. I'll convince him to try it. And our king mackerel recipe too is kind of a gateway fish to get people to eat it.
Gateway fish. I know, right?
Absolutely. We get it a lot. And Kayla's in the background going, it looks like chicken nuggets, and it does. Yeah. It's perfect just because people are like, oh, I don't eat fish. And we're like, trust us, just try it like this and tell your Tony, I take no more than 4. Normally I'll kind of pick and choose how many, and I'll do 2s and 3s just because it's very difficult to fish the way we do with 4 people at a time on light rods. We don't typically break rods, but we broke 2 rods in like 3 days the other week. So it's it can be really aggressive, and I like to use the word violent because like when you hook a big fish on a light rod, like it can be violent. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but
you can say what you want. Right?
On my boat every day I look for this oh shit moment.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell guys every day on the dock. I'm like, I'm sorry in front of your wife and kids. I'm looking for an oh shit moment, and we're gonna find it, and you're gonna go, oh shit, what do I do? So that's kind of like, you don't want to, I mean, even like a 40-pound cobia flopping around on the deck with 5 people on there, just with the size of my boat and stuff. If I'm trying to do, or if I gaff a king mackerel and I'm screaming at people to get it out of the way or something. So it's just what we need to do is the 3 of us need to go out there one day and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, so Brian and I are talking, and we're talking with you. It's going to be in the off season when we go, and because we want some of those bigger fish.
It's going to be bloody. It's going to be biblical. And
Kayla gets so mad at me because we keep a whole sink at the house full of OxyClean, and I just walk in the door and she's like, oh, you caught mahi today? We're closing the sink. Like I walk in the door and throw everything straight in the sink.
Everything goes in the sink. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Tony would be a good one to go fish. He's big on the whole runt rod in the surf.
Oh yeah.
So he's already on that and that mindset of downsizing and light tackle and everything else. So.
What I would say on that, I'd probably throw on some heavier line. I'd probably throw on 40 or 50. And when you hook that fish, you're going to have to what we'll do is we'll basically just hand drag it, and you end up pulling that fish in by hand, really, because even the gear that we use, it's not really meant for catching a 80-pound amberjack on a spinning rod. So you're kind of on some of the light stuff, like you're basically hand lining that fish up. So absolutely, the runt rod I think would be an awesome thing to do. And awesome. And I say awesome because I'm going to sit in the chair and laugh at you the whole time.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I know what you're saying, and I know what you're going to do. And
This is gonna be great. Yeah, get them.
I love
You
it.
got it.
Great, bro. You're doing great up there.
Guys are like, help! What do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. You figure it out.
Fish is down there. You have the view. I'm just kind of here.
I do that with sharks. And people start to look over at me and they like want to hand the rod off and stuff. And I'm like,
But
this is what you paid for, man. This is what you're coming out here for.
And I agree, and that's what I do. Except for some of those, like that jack. I told the guy, I was like, hey man, I'd rather get this fish here so you can at least take a picture with it. So if you want to hand it off, you should. Like, don't let pride get in the way. Like, if you need to hand it off, hand it off. And he did, and the guy was just dripping sweat, and I was squirting water in his mouth as he's fighting it. And I had that rod and maybe 30 seconds, and he was like, "Oh, all right, cool." And I'm like, "All right, you're back. This is your fish, man. I'm going back to sit down." And then once he starts fighting again, I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh, it's really hot out here, isn't it, everybody?"
Oh man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Mark, you've been doing some good stuff. Your posts have been awesome on social. And if anybody wants to follow you on social media and book a trip with you, how do they do it?
Social media. So Instagram, Facebook, 38 Light Tackle. We've got that article coming out in Florida Sport Fishing Magazine. And of course, the Blackfin Tuna Seminar is the 1st September and October at Legendary. I'm really excited for that because we had an awesome tuna year last year. So I'm super excited for that season to come. And we try to hit these seminars like right before that season happens. So Amberjack will open September. And then normally like the local legend is tunas will show up the full moon in August. And I saw one's already been caught in state water. So that full moon was like the 12th or something. So they should start getting better if this water will clear up. So hopefully that's good, but that's it.
When was
So
that?
you real quick before you're out here, you do the seminars with Legendary and Half Hitch, Mr. Tim Broom out there at Legendary Marina. If you guys have missed any of these, and I just found this out, I went back and binge watched a lot during the rain and couldn't get out on the beach. If you guys want to go see those seminars, they're on Facebook under the Legendary Marine site. On Facebook, you can go back and rewatch all of them except for the mahi one that you guys just did. That was an in-person only for whatever reason. But,
that one was a good one. But Tim has more knowledge and information in those things that you could ever learn in a lifetime. So Tim gives the best, and we leave sometimes with a little. I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that much stuff because then the next time I go out and there's like 4 guys fishing circles around my boat doing the exact same thing. but Tim's got more history here and more knowledge than anybody in Destin probably. So it's kind of an honor to be up there with him. And every time I'm up there and doing one of these, I learn a whole lot from him too. So it's awesome. It's really cool stuff.
Good stuff. Awesome, bud. We appreciate the report. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll get you back on here soon. Cheers, man.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
See you, buddy. All right, Chris. I know you're getting impatient back there. I can see you fidgeting.
I can see it fidgeting. He's jumped on, jumped off. I've seen him here, there, and everywhere.
Lost connection a couple times, I think, is what it was. I think that's all. He was just losing the connecting piece.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
go ahead. You got him?
Yeah, I mean, you've already got his banner up, but I mean, the least I can do is introduce this guy.
There you
go. We are going into the fun old inshore fishing report, which is brought to you by GI Jigs. Use code PFR to get 10% off your order from GI Jigs. Great ones. We were just talking about it. You just heard it. So without further ado, Captain Chris, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, how are you guys? Sorry, internet is spotty tonight for some reason. Anyway, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good, man.
Great. Good. Well, fishing's hot over here. Had double trips today. Trout bite still on fire for me. Mirror Dean. That has been the absolute kicker for me right now. I think we caught a total of like 40 trout today between both trips.
Nice.
Live bait, throwing a lot of pinfish right now. Little mini pinfish has been the ticket. I'm not even wasting time on shrimp right now. Those larger 15, 16, 17-inch trout, they're wanting a pinfish right now. So it was real good today. We've been fighting rain every day right now. I think between Flo and I, man, we're on the radios together all day trying to run from clouds and, trying to find a new technique, what we could do. But it's been good. Like I said, that trout bite has not stopped for me.
So
a lot of big bulls.
I know you're saying mirrodines, but when you're using live bait, are they under popping corks, or are you just?
They are. Yep. So I'm just using them. Yep. Just using a little 2.5, 3-inch pinfish, throwing it underneath a popping cork, one of those Undertaker popping corks. And I mean, you don't have to do anything. Just let it float. We're catching most of our fish in probably 3.5 foot of water. Outgoing tide has been just an absolute key for me right now.
Yeah, that's we had Captain Bill on last week, and he was saying the same thing over here. 2.5, 3 to 3.5 foot of water right in that range is been the hot spot for trout right now.
It's been great. Our bait fish is such an abundance over here right now. I heard you guys talk about rain minnows. We've got a lot of rain minnows right now. Finger mullet. I see glass minnows. So key I tell most of my clients, if you can get that bait close to that bait ball, you're going to get bit, and that's how it's been for us last probably week and a half now. Like I said, trout bite, ladyfish bite's been on fire. I mean, it's fun for clients who never caught one. It's a poor man's tarpon is what I call them.
Absolutely.
And then these bull redfish, at every trip on our way in, we got about an hour left. And I said, all right, you guys really want to go catch a fish now? We'll go hit up one of the old areas. And let me tell you, man, drop a pinfish and it is on like Donkey Kong.
That is amazing. Look at that bronze color. I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful redfish right there.
Yeah, it's funny, when I talk to the clients about these bull reds, because they've never caught one. I'm like, okay, this is how it's going to go. That rod's going to double over. I'm going to hand it to you, and you're going to reel until you can't stop reeling. I said, you're going to hate me by the end of this trip. And let me tell you, it happens every time. You'll get 5 or 6 runs. They'll see the bottom of the boat. They take off again, and they ask me, Captain Chris, when's it going to end? I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. So it's been awesome. Absolutely.
That's a beautiful redfish right there, too.
Yeah, it's been great, guys. So top water bite's pretty good first thing in the morning. Still using some Zara spooks, using some voodoo shrimps. But like I said, it's hard, man. When I get out there, like these other charter captains, every day's different. It's like a light switch, but there is never a day I don't have at least 3 or 4 electric chicken mirrodines ready to roll, because I promise you that is my go-to backup lure. It doesn't matter. If they're not eating live bait, we're going to throw a mirrodine for sure.
Now, when you say the electric chicken color, are you talking the pink on top, like chartreuse on the side pattern?
Yep. So they're calling it the EC. It's the pink on the top, a little bit on the sides, with more of the chrome white, and then yellow on the belly.
Okay.
And gotcha. I'll buy. What I do is I call mirrodine, and they know what I want. Like, I just pick the one quantity, and they just send me the case of it, because that's all I want. So it's like I said, it's been on fire. So I'm excited to see what fall's got to bring. I'm looking forward to a little bit cooler weather. I'm already getting booked up into October, which is an absolute blessing. So I can't wait to get out there and see what this little cooler weather does for all of us, because I know I'm tired of the rain like everybody else for sure.
So I'm going to bring this up.
What Bill say? Water's still tonic. Yes, it is. It is dirty, dirty, dirty. And that's why I like to throw that electric chicken, because the fish can still see it, and so can I.
Nothing wrong with that. That's always the best part. I mean, with the water being funky, the color has seemed to have been the big talk amongst you guys on the inshore piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've had dirty water, and all this rain we're getting, it's pushing a lot of fresh water in right now too. So we're battling with that. I mean, I'm seeing more alligators in the area than I've seen in a while. So it's pretty interesting what you get out there while you're inshore fishing for sure. That's it, man.
That's what we're looking at right there.
Yep, I'm trying to grab it through the screen right now. That's it. That's what I want.
So if you're any questions on what it is, Captain Chris is talking about, Schubert's talking about here, it's that electric chicken color right there. That's a killer. Now, what I like the first thing I do when I get these is I switch these to single hooks.
You can change hooks out.
And I swap those out just because those trebles I've learned over the years that they are dangerous.
Yes, they are.
But swap those out to a single hook there, and then that thing is killer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't think you guys will ever find me without one on my boat. So it's just it's one of those things. I think I've talked about this before. You get comfortable with it. You want your clients to get comfortable with it, and it's not a hard lure to use. So literally, I hand them the rod. I say, 2 twitches, pause. 3 twitches, pause, and they'll do it for 4 hours. And I'll say, you guys want live bait? Nope, we want artificial. And I'm like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
So and like that, we catch a ton of fish that way. So It's been good, gentlemen. Mr. Flo and I are going down to the Keys next weekend. I'll talk to you guys backstage about this. Super pumped. Going to catch some tarpon, maybe catch a bonefish. If I can convince him, we'll go catch some peacock bass. So I am looking forward to a week of fishing down in the Keys. So I can't wait. Can't wait.
Awesome. That peacock bass is definitely on my bucket list type fish to get into.
I got some places.
I remember growing up and watching the fishing shows on Saturday mornings and stuff, and then bringing in great big twitch baits and stuff like that with the props on the end of them, and whipping them things back, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, like somebody threw a grenade in the water.
Yeah,
and it just explodes.
A big old bass on steroids is what it is. So it'll be kind of cool to go back to our old roots. Flo hasn't been back to where we're going in probably 20 years. So it's going to be a good time for us just to get away. And like I said, what better else to do on your time off but to fish?
Absolutely. Cool. Well, awesome report, man. Thanks for hanging out. Normally you're in the middle, but we had you on the end tonight. But great report. Some awesome fish. Folks want to get up with you and book a trip. How do they do it? Absolutely. Facebook, Instagram, Say When Charters. If you want to go offshore, partner Captain Chris Florence will get you out there. You want to do inshore? Call me, Captain Chris Schubert. We'll get you on some fish. Awesome, brother. Great report. Appreciate it, man. We'll see you next time. All right, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you, bud.
So pinfish have been like when we dropped pinfish in the boat the other day, it was a red snapper every time. Of course, red snapper's out of season right now, so that kind of sucked. But those little 2.5, 3-inch pinfish like that, drop that down on a small little. We were using a 1-ounce weight for Carolina rig, and no sooner it hit the bottom, if it would make it to the bottom, we were done. We were hooked up and bringing fish up. And on light tackle, that's just so much fun.
So you're gonna make Mark happy.
Yeah, right. Light tackle, everything, man. That's the way I've been picking his brain, man. It's look at the dog.
That dog is not a puppy anymore.
We can see stuff in the green room, and Mark's back there with his dog clapping hands back there. So
remember when that thing was a little puppy? Now it's a friggin' full-blown monster shedder.
Getting big.
All right.
We are an hour 15. Let's jump on.
Oh crap! We forgot to ask him how he likes.
How he cooks his fish. He jumped off already. All right.
Oh well.
I'm gonna guess he fries it. I'm gonna go fry.
I buy that. I can see him.
I buy that. Let's see here. Share rigs.
Of course, now the fat kid wants fries. Thanks, bro. Oh,
yeah.
You go for fries.
Facebook. Yeah, we'll do this. Close that. Go to saved. Go here. All right. Tonight's shares are going to be all about food. Well, almost all of them. We'll start down here with the fish ones first. If you guys haven't seen this photo that's been going around on Facebook, look at that action shot right there. And that's what I see every time I see this. And I told Tony this, and I was like, I can't look at that photo and not hear Cookie Monster just shoveling in chocolate chip cookies. Like, nom, 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 nom. That's an awesome capture on the Go Fish cam there. Great photo. Once in a lifetime photo, I think, here in our area. And yes, it is a permit, not a pompano. So that's an awesome catch, especially for up here. That's awesome. It's a great shot there. Next one would have been a PB scamp, but everybody pays taxes right now. Mr. Sean Lawless. At least he got a nice throat out of it, maybe.
He did get we left him a little something. But
would have been, what do you say? Would have been his PB scamp grouper, and then boom, got it. But that happens. All right, so recipes. Oh, so if you guys haven't seen, if you haven't visited the GulfCoastCouncil.org, I actually went through there the other night and was looking at all the stuffs and the proposals, changes to grouper season next year, the changes to red drum, like everything you want to know what's happening in the Gulf Coast fisheries and the amendments and things that you're proposing. But this was a unique article. I saw you are allowed to harvest fish and eat them while you're out there. It counts as part of your limit when you do that. And you have to have some sort, as you heard us talking earlier, heat source, which says, given this common uses of the word, vessels must be equipped with something that can properly cook the fish with heat. That's the key right there. The simple presence of limes for ceviche or wasabi and soy sauce for sashimi would not qualify the vessel for exemption from the head and fins intact requirement. You can still consume raw fish aboard. You just have to have something to properly heat the fish. So that's a new change that came out. You're allowed to do that, which I thought was neat. And I really didn't know that you had to have something that telling you. I just thought you always could. But if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right.
Just put a little Coleman stove on the boat. Put it in on one of the bays. There you go. All
right. Recipe for crispy fish sticks.
Why is your stuff not coming up?
Is it not? How about now? Is it showing?
I mean, all I see is the recipe for. I see your save window. I don't see the things popping up.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have them on a different tab?
Oh, you know why? Because it opens another tab. Aha.
But still showing me the same thing here.
Yeah, no. So what's happening is I'm sharing one screen, but I'm not sharing. Let's try this. StreamYard, share. Now it's going to share screen.
Because the honor system, Bill. We're honorable.
Yeah, right. Handlers. All right, so you see that?
I don't see anything. You're not sharing screen.
What? Come on now. Oh, I got to click share. There we go. All right, so do you see this now?
I see your main screen of, yes, now I see your tabs.
Okay, so now you see this. So I'm going to click on this tab.
Yep, came right up.
And then now we're seeing the crispy fish and all the stuff I've ordered from boatparts.net or whatever.
Apparently you've been ordering some stuff.
Yeah, I have. No, I don't need to see boats.net. Close that. What is going on here? Crispy fish sticks. There we go. Look at that. Great recipe. Eggs, breadcrumb, flour. This is 450 grams, but I don't know. It's metric system. Cod, haddock, any sort of fish. Nice breading. Fry it in grease. And it's delicious. No more trying to fry in the air fryer. Grilled halibut with basil vinaigrette. This one looks amazing. But you could use flounder. You could use really any sort of white fish. Great recipe there. Basil vinaigrette, drizzled over tomatoes, served over vegetables, or right over top of your fish there. Yeah, no. We always try to have some sort of vegetable with our fish. Stuffed flounder over rice. This was up north. Cooking and Fishing. I don't know if you're a member of that group, but they got some good recipes and stuff. Nice limit of flounder in there. This is obviously up north, not down here. And then fillets wrapped around crab meat stuffing. And then maybe a little cheese and some other green stuff on top and some butter, and just cook that up over. I mean, that looks delicious. Like, if you guys weren't hungry before, you probably are now.
Now I'm part of that person. Now part of that group.
Now you're part. Did you join?
Yeah, I did.
Scallops au gratin. So I brought this one up because it is scallop season right now over in Port St. Joe area. Folks are going over there. I've seen reports on Facebook with just like buckets and gallons of scallops every day. Everybody getting their limit of scallops over there. So great recipe here in a white wine cream sauce. Again, looks delicious. Baked Cajun shrimp. This is a good one I have saved for a while. This doesn't take much. Just some Cajun seasoning and oil and your shrimp. Preheat the oven to 350. Throw everything in and mix it all. Make it all nice and happy. And then put it in the oven for some minutes. 10 minutes. Bake it in there. Delicious. Look at that. It looks awesome.
It's disgusting. Shrimp should
this one right here. Look at this one. This I thought was pretty neat. Crab crunchies. Cut up imitation crab meat.
I could eat that. Okay.
Yeah. In a bowl, cut up the crab meat or imitation, coat with oil, melted butter, season however you like it, salt, pepper, onion, mix it all up, put it in the air fryer for 380 for 8 minutes. Open it, shake it up, cook it for another 8 minutes, and you're done. Look at that. Just little crab nuggets. That looks so good.
Oh, it does.
It's so easy. And then last one, Cajun baked salmon. This one's pretty good.
Dude,
that's a good recipe there. This one, just salmon's a great fish anyway. Just super easy to cook up. I just wish we could go catch it fresh. That would be cool.
That would be cool if we had salmon down here.
Yeah, but great video it's going to go through. But anyway, good stuff. So real quick, I've actually created a folder here. I know Mark. Oh, sorry, touchscreen computer now. Mark was talking Tim Broom's A Wealth of Knowledge. I have gone through and saved just about all of his posts on what to do, how to do, where to fish, all that good stuff. So if you guys aren't following the Half Hitch page on Facebook or Tim Broom and all, he's got tons of information out there. He puts a lot of information out there for everybody, and get out there, go follow it, and you too could learn how to fish.
Bill, it's actually coming, so don't worry. It's something that there's a reason for this episode being the way it is. We have something.
Yeah, it is. Something may be coming soon with more recipes and chefs and things.
So I unfortunately got the word late that we were going to get into that. So I grabbed a couple of other pictures that were going on in the world. Perdito Blaine nailing some ladyfish, having some fun there. He got out and had a little bit of a good time. Lots of small Spanish. Jason Dudley, if you guys haven't heard of him, he's always out crushing it. The dude, I had one good meeting with him, and then just after hearing about all the stuff he does, I was a little butthurt. I can't fish like him. Guy's got it. Skull Fishing Fanatic, Sean Nicholas. Decent red.
Yeah, nice red from the beach.
Little bit. Good size. Always good to see big reds coming in right about now.
Yep.
Castinus. Oh, wait. There it is. There's Tony. Sorry. Justin Reed and Tony got out, and Tony was one shy of the limit. He ran out of time for the day. He had stuff to do. Had he not, he probably would have caught that last one. But
yeah,
lots of good stuff was coming from that one. You can find out all about that through his page on Fishgum and follow up on his information there. The Castin Assassin with this Gulf Coast slow jigging. He just started this group not too long ago. Ryan is one of the few captains that I absolutely would go to in a heartbeat about slow pitch jigging. I've seen him do it once and was in utter shock, but the guy's got a lot of wealth of knowledge. This group is sharing a ton. If you want to learn about slow pitch jigging, great place to start, but they definitely got right after it. Back. Jordan
G2.
Old Coach G2 Coastal getting out in the Yaki Yak and crushing it on a monster. Jack. Beautiful.
I'm sure that was what they call a sleigh ride. I bet it pulled him around quite a bit.
He said he worked on that one for a bit. Interesting lure, though.
Is that like, oh crap, what is that? Not the crocodile, but because they make a spoon that's like that.
I think the fish bent it. That's what I'm not sure. I don't know. I saw that. I was like, that's an interesting lure. I wonder. So I need to text Jordan. I feel
maybe it was because it says this trout lure wasn't rated for the jacks here. So you may be right. Brock.
And then Brock out there doing the magic things Brock does, because Brock does catch fish, because that's what Brock does. And yes, I do have my own little personal naughtiness of, that one, the smoked Gouda, an Old Bay crab.
Another great half hitch one.
Yeah, that was a fun one there.
Toasted.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys can't tell, when you look at me that I like food, but I promise I do. This is my go-to when it comes to fish recipes. Monahan's is out of Michigan. I found this on accident one day when I was trying to find a good recipe for bluefish. If you're ever up in that area, they're only open for a little bit, but you go to recipes, and it is an endless list. Serve. I'll talk about scallop ceviche. There you go. Crushing it. Grilled oysters. Really? Tuna poke. Oh, that one. That's getting made this year after I catch my first tuna.
There we go. Gotta go out with Mark.
Stuffed squid. What's that?
I said we got to book a trip with Mark.
Oh, yeah, I'm down. Where are you? Fluke piccata. I mean, that's getting up there. Where is my stupid favorite recipe?
Here's your Vietnamese bluefish. Come on.
Where is my stupid bluefish recipe? I thought it was here last time.
Is that it? It's on
there.
There
it is. There it is.
There it is.
This is what got me This stupid little dressing right here, this makes this bluefish about amazing. So, yeah, this is my go-to whenever I want to make a fish sandwich. I make this dressing. Olive oil, vinegar, fish sauce, all this mixed together. Mix it up. I may have handed it to a few of my friends to try.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty damn good. But I always go to Monahan's whenever I want to try something with fish. If I'm really kind of having a rough day of like, hey, I don't really know how to make stuff. This is one of my favorite places to stop because there's going to be something that sounds really good that I'm going to put together. Ooh, Panko. Might have to go down that route. Anyway, before I get myself in trouble there. But yeah.
What up, Surf Hippie? Thanks for joining us. You're back from the football game.
Yep. So I'm running the control board.
Yeah.
Jordan was on. I didn't know Jordan was on. You are handsome.
Yeah. Soft body hover shab from Academy. Oh, did it bend it? I guess it tore it up. Crocodile spoon. You're right, Bill. That's what I was thinking of. On there.
All matters. You won.
Yeah. This episode of Panhandle Fishing Report was about recipes and food. That's what we were going after. That was our theme tonight. Because everybody has one. I'm sure that, like we said, what's your go-to for everything? Bent the wire that runs through the body. Gotcha.
Damn, that's a powerful bite.
Yeah.
A normal person that would be commenting is not here tonight. And I'm very upset with her. And I'm going to have to text her and say, you were missed. You needed tonight.
Tonight was her show to jump on. And
mad at me for not, because last week, it didn't show her name. And I was like, who the hell is that?
But she may be on soon. So
G2 had that rig bent. Yep.
Yeah,
but again, so yes, Smitty and I were talking earlier. We were saying things are going to be coming with food. There is going to be some stuff coming. We have heard you. There have been numerous comments of, hey, can we talk about food? Yes, and we will have some stuff coming with that. So please be patient. As you know, Mike and I grow this as fast as we possibly can while Mike is still running his charter business and I'm still running my RV business. Mm-hmm. We're always doing our stuff to try to get it out there. So please be patient. If you do have ideas for the show, do not hesitate. Send that in. We are always open to listening to it. And we're always open to making this bigger, better, and bringing you more information because we want you all to catch fish and come back and celebrate you guys doing it with your pictures.
Absolutely. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. That was great. All right, folks. Been a great show. A lot of great information. Inshore, offshore, surf pier, or Rendering Talk pier, but surf reports. It's a lot of great information. Each week we work hard. Our captains work hard to bring you some good information so you can go out there and catch fish. With all that said, appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget to share, send everything out. We get this thing ready. Until next week, folks, we appreciate it. We'll see y'all next Friday night. Later.